you all to Supreme Success Online lecture. Today, I'm going to continue from where I stopped in my last class. So the subject I'm going to teach is still economics. So in my last class, I was able to do justice to the meaning or definition of economics. And at the same time, I was also able to do justice to the basic concepts of economics. If you can recall back, you realize that in my last class, I was able to give you 5 definitions of economics. The first one I was able to introduce you to that particular day was the one given by Adam Smith. Adam Smith. At the same time, I was able to touch the definition of Alfred Marshall. Alfred Marshall. At the same time, I was able to touch the definition of JBC. At the same time, I was able to touch the definition of J.S. Mill. And the last definition I was able to discuss that day was the definition given by Professor L. Robbins. So I proceeded by discussing the basic concept of economics. And I was able to do justice to the 5 basic concepts of economics. The first one I was able to discuss is want. Want. I was able to discuss want. I was able to discuss scarcity. I discussed scale of preference, choice. So today I'm going to move a step ahead by discussing 3 major things. The first one I'm going to discuss is the central problem of an economy. So the second one I'm going to discuss is microeconomics and macroeconomics. So the third one I'm going to discuss is positive economics and normative economics. The nature and scope of economics. One, the central economic problems. 2, microeconomics versus macroeconomics. So the third one is positive versus normative economics. Positive versus normative economics. So the first one, which is the central economic problem or central problems of an economy. So under the central problems of an economy, I'm going to give you 6 main points. But remember, every economy always experiences the problem of scarcity. Scarcity of resources, to be precise. And as a result of this, there is need to make choice in such an economy. So I'm going to give you the 6 basic central problems of an economy. The first one I'm going to discuss is what goods and services are to produce. What goods and services are to produce. 1. What goods and services are to produce. That is, some normally call this one what to produce. What to produce is one of the major central problems of an economy. What to produce arises as a result of scarcity of resources. And since there is scarcity of resources, an economy must determine what goods and services to produce. However, some economies may decide to produce capital goods. Some may decide to produce consumer goods. So it depends on the economy. So the second one is how to produce these goods and services. How to produce these goods and services. How do we produce these goods and services? In some textbooks, they call it how to produce. But what are we producing? We are trying to produce the goods and services for the consumption of human beings. So, how do we produce the goods? We can only produce the goods using two techniques. The first one is labor-intensive technique, and the second one is capital-intensive technique. Take note of this. Most developing countries, particularly countries with high population, may opt to go for labor-intensive technique. So it depends on the choice of that particular society. Why majorly? You will realize that in the developed countries of the world, the technique they normally go for is the capital-intensive technique. So the third one I'm going to discuss is for whom these goods and services are to be produced. For whom these goods and services are to be produced. For whom these goods and services are to be produced. That is, what this statement is saying is that we want to consider those individuals that we are going to distribute these goods to in the economy. Are we going to focus on the poor people in the economy or focus on the wealthy people in the economy? In fact, for whom these goods and services are to be produced, concentrate more on the sharing of the nation's national income. So the next one is, are the resources efficiently used? Are the resources efficiently used? Since there is problem of scarcity in every economy, there is need to make sure that resources are efficiently utilized. So the next one is, are the resources fully employed? Are the resources fully employed? Are the resources fully employed? So what we are trying to discuss here is that we want to see if the resources are fully employed among the population of a particular country. And the last one is how to attain growth in the economy. How to attain growth in the economy. So every economy must have the goal of attainment of growth. And as a result of this, once a country is able to increase its production or increase its growth rate to a very large extent, the country can easily attain economic development. So, the second thing I'm going to discuss is micro micro versus macroeconomics. Micro economics and macro economics. So I'll move a step ahead by talking about microeconomics and macroeconomics. Microeconomics. Microeconomics. What do you mean by microeconomics? When we say micro means small, as in small. That is what microeconomics deals with, is the smaller unit or component of the economy. So what this means in essence is that microeconomics studies the behavior or the attitude of the smaller units or components in the economy. For example, the smaller unit and component of the economy are the individuals, the firm, and the government. Advantages or merits of microeconomics. Merit of microeconomics. Merit of microeconomics. Merit of microeconomics. So the first merit of microeconomics is that microeconomics helps. I'm going to discuss microeconomics and macroeconomics. Microeconomics. Micro means small. That is, microeconomics tend to study the smaller unit or component of an economy. In other words, microeconomics studies the behavior of the small economic unit or some part of the economy. For example, we have the individuals, we have the firms, then we have the government. As these are the three basic economic units or components of an economy. So microeconomics tend to study these three components of an economy. Advantages of microeconomics or merits. The first merit is that microeconomics makes us understand the economy. That is, better understanding of the economy. Better understanding of the economy. So what this means is that the study of microeconomics makes individuals to understand the economic unit, to have the better knowledge of the three economic units, that is, the individuals, the households, and the government. The next one is making of policies. Making of policies. Microeconomics helps individuals to make policies that will improve the welfare of the citizens in the society. So another one is knowledge of vibrant sectors. Knowledge of vibrant sectors. The study of microeconomics also helps individuals to know those sectors of the economy that are working and those sectors of the economy that are not working. The next one is development of So the next one is the development of economic tools. Economic tools. So microeconomics helps us to develop tools that will help in interpreting or solving economic problems. Demerit. So one major demerit of microeconomics is unreliability of data. Unreliability of data. What this means is that the data that are derived with the use of microeconomic principles are not usually reliable. This is where we are going to end the lecture. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to this video. Thanks.